You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Today's episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by Peloton. A party on a bike, or rower, or treadmill, or app, or walk, or weight room, or anywhere. Peloton.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
I've got two dueling energies in here, Stugotz. I've got a whole bunch of people who have had microphones for 10 years and haven't had them for 10 days. Mm-hmm. All coming in off of the holidays with a lot of opinions on a number of different things, inside and outside of sports. This is our original crew kind of doing it together for 20 years with Tony. On the other hand, I've got Stugotz already saying he's tired in 2024, that the holidays ravaged him, and I think he's going to work today like a lot of people are. You don't want to be back at work because you're struggling after the time off and how sedentary you were, that you sat around and didn't do anything. You argued with family. You realized that the life without the microphones is kind of silent. You got college girls coming home. They don't respect dad the way they used to.
It's the worst. First off, I feel gross. Just from sitting around, eating, drinking, doing Lord knows what for 10 days, I feel disgusting. I watch so much football. I feel gross. But I want to address what you just brought up. Because, guys, I have told you this, and I'll tell you again. Enjoy every second of your kids. Every second of it. Even the worst possible things that you could do. Even when they're being bad. Enjoy it, embrace it, love it, because eventually they'll become teenage monsters who go to college and think they have all the answers. I had Rachel and Emma both home, and I was in a fight with Rachel. And I said, if you roll your eyes one more time, there's going to be a problem, a big problem. And she said, really? What are you going to do?
Oh, goddamn. I mean, that's where
I didn't have an answer.
That's it. Checkmate. Checkmate. The fraud has been revealed. That or else that has meant something for 18 years. No, when you live on your own and realize you can have your own money.
The fake threats is a problem for parents. Because, like, you always want to do the thing like, hey, if you don't do this, don't make me. We'll leave right now. We're not leaving. We've never left.
I'm going to turn this car around the other day. Wow. I'm old now. I crossed that threshold. It came out of my mouth just organically, and there was silence afterwards, and it was my own silence. I'm like, did I just threaten to turn this car around?
Stugotz.
I threatened to kill Santa.
Whoa! What?
Kill?
Like kill murder?
It needed to be done.
Like, it's not bad enough that she has to witness Santa dead in a pool of his own blood.
If you pee in this bed one more time, it's my bed.
She now has to imagine her father in jail for murder.
How'd your wife take that?
Famously for murdering Santa.
That's right.
Is Santa like the most famous person you could murder?
Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is Santa the most famous person that you could murder? There's a podcast there. Those murder pods are very popular now. We could get something off the ground. The great story of the famous criminal who set out to murder Santa.
So you just said if you pee in this bed one more time, I'm going to kill Santa?
Over the break, she likes to sleep in our bed, and you're not peeing in this bed. That's what your bed's for.
What?
Put it on the poll,
That's
please,
not what her
Juju,
bed's for.
at Le Batard Show.
I mean, it's not what any bed is for.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. You're not peeing in this bed. That's what your bed's for. Yes or no? I want to get to this video, Stugotz, because I just want you to watch the awkwardness. And Enraged Dan Campbell is wonderful. I do really want to. I know everybody wants to yell about the officiating. I get it. But just step back, okay, from the minutia for a moment.
Right.
Because Dan Campbell is wonderfully stubborn. Dan Campbell, you could have once he told his team, we're going to score here and we're going to go for two, he could have got 700 yards in penalties and been outside the stadium. And
he would have went for it on the 50.
He was going to go for two.
At what point does he readjust?
No,
never. Let me take in the new information.
No, look, man Campbell's stubborn does not readjust. Not for any man, not for any bear. No.
Come on, at the 40-yard line.
Nope.
He's like, all right.
Nope.
55-yarder.
No. Look, I want to examine this for a second, okay? because, Stugotz, this is worth something. The stories in sports are wonderful, okay? Detroit made its 2 best players ever quit, and Stafford had to go somewhere else to make Puka Nacua now something that Calvin Johnson was, that Stafford has had a lot of excellent production, had to leave Detroit to get it. That is the saddest sack franchise in our most popular sport for half a century. You think the Dolphins are bad this century? Double it. The Detroit Lions made their 2 players, their best players, quit. They go into America's team. Jerry Jones is still living off the fumes of 30 years ago, okay? Detroit went in early this season. Oh, they beat Kansas City. Expectations. Maybe Detroit can do something. And man, Campbell, eating kneecaps. Caveman coach working for Ford. Drinks 2 giant coffees a day that are the equivalent of 20 Red Bulls, and starts his day and is going to gnaw your face off, and he's going to tell his team, whether it's in Dallas or not, we're going to go down there, we're going to score, and we're going to go for 2. Then has the balls with all that history behind him. And the play I'm going to call with Jared Goff, who none of us believed in, the play I'm going to call, because I don't fear any of what's happening around here. I have the belief of my men. We're better than 50 years of Lions football. I'm going for 2. And I'm going to beat Dallas in Dallas because I like the math of my offense is really good. I got confidence in it, 3 yards to 8 yards. I like my chances. I'll play 1 play for the game. And then we get into a procedural conversation about refereeing and did someone declare, and it obscures that this man went in there and did something unbelievably stubborn and ballsy and lost. And at the end of it, Stugotz, because this is the part I did enjoy, he doesn't know what to do with his rage or his gum. If he were in a private room, things would be getting thrown around, walls would be dented, he would headbutt, he'd welcome in wild animals, he would grapple with them, but this is him in public, very frustrated with losing and not knowing what to do with his gum.
70 reported. Did Decker report as well? Yeah, the explanation was 70 reported. Did Decker report? Yes.
And do they need to announce that if both players report?
2 people can't report.
Stugotz, I need to explain to the audio audience that the next day on a chair in his hotel room, or wherever it is that he was, he reached into that pocket and found that piece of paper and that gum. It had been left there.
It's a good thing he used paper. You ever put chewed gum in your pocket without paper? Oh, it happens occasionally.
No,
it just does. It does. It does. It's happened to me. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you mean it's happened to you as if you haven't chosen it? What do you mean it's happened to you?
I think you got to swallow it at that point.
What? That's
It takes 7 years to come out.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. If you swallow gum, does it take 7 years to come out?
That's what they say.
Remember when Chris Whittingham told us that he always swallowed gum and he didn't know it was wrong until that exact moment?
The Lions look like they're going to be the 3 seed, Dan, but they still could be the 2 seed.
Right.
Yeah. To get the 2 seed, they have to beat the Vikings. The Eagles have to lose to the Giants. The Cowboys have to lose to the Commanders. But both of those games are in the late window where the Lions play in the early window, so they're not going to know what's going on.
You guys would agree a little too cute with that play call. Like, you don't want to rely. The referees, it's a busy time. The referees are running around trying to spot the ball.
Busy time, Stu. It's their job.
You got 2 guys trying to check in. It's the holidays. I mean,
so why did 70 go over to Brad Allen?
It's an illusion.
Yeah, but you're banking on the referees hearing everything and getting it right and not knowing who should be downfield and who shouldn't be.
It's right, Stu.
Was that like the Tua Tyreek thing where like the number 70 goes over to the official, so it's like, oh, who really?
Exactly.
I want to explore actually what Stugotz just threw in the mix. I've heard a lot of people talk about this ad nauseum in every possible conceivable forum for talking about these things. But I want to give Stugotz credit for something. Working during the holidays is tough.
Yeah.
And maybe those refs didn't want to be out there.
Right.
Maybe somebody's got some stuff at home going on, things on his mind. No one's working. Everyone else is mailing it in at work.
Brad Allen's daughter's getting married, maybe, like in the playoffs. So he's like, I can't work this playoffs.
She comes home from college. She's rolling her eyes. He's out there on the field saying, I gave her the or else. And she's like, and what, Dad? What are you going to actually do? I've lost my daughters. And now 68 is reporting in 70. He's thinking to himself, man, Campbell's not going to throw it to a fat guy here. I mean, like, what?
Who checked in? Who didn't check in?
Who cares? I had too much turkey this morning.
In the press conference, Dan Campbell stumbles over his words and says 58 instead of 68. You see, mistakes happen.
They happen.
Yep.
Let me tell you who's skating. Mike McCarthy. All the attention's on those officials. What the hell was Mike McCarthy doing at the end of the game? Look, I know this is going to sound ridiculous coming from me.
What was he doing?
It's going to sound ridiculous coming from me, but you got to kneel.
Yeah.
He was
Holidays,
throwing the
Mike.
ball.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the holidays. Dayball, too, at the end of that game. Dayball's his clock management at the end of that game.
What about Saban at the end? Saban and Harbaugh taking timeouts and positioning.
Oh,
Harbaugh wanted to, let me get an extra snap here to screw up.
What was that timeout?
It was a chess match.
No, it was not a chess match.
It was not a chess match.
I was like, are they going Hail Mary here from the one?
What? Hold on. Let's call that timeout there. Wanna just risk something going wrong here.
Let me snap it again.
More adversity. More self-imposed adversity for our team to overcome.
But this is Michigan's thing. Michigan keeps saying, we've overcome adversity as they keep punching themselves in the face. I can't believe how resilient we are about withstanding all the blows to the face that we keep administering. What are we going to do with the one after dropping the punt for no good reason? And almost ending that game in the most famous way ever with that would have been a safety in that spot.
Yeah.
Would have been the most famous ending, like bigger than the kick six, correct? To beat Alabama, if the game with that stakes ends
a walk-off safety
with that ball, but all of it. I heard Herb Street and Fowler were saying, well, silver lining, he did, get back there and he really showed great resilience. But if it had been 1 yard deeper, Michigan would have never forgiven that poor kid, ever. And Harbaugh's out there on the goal line calling extra timeouts because he wants to fumble a snap into the end zone.
I know the previous kneel backed us up to the half-yard line, but let me call this timeout and see if I can get even closer.
Because I'm not scared of you.
The game might have ended in a safety. But him kneeling for the safety.
Right. That no one understood what
I was screaming
doing.
at Saban, Mike, why are you waiting till 12 seconds? Because if something does indeed go wrong, you want to leave your offense time to do some work there. But then Harbaugh starts taking the timeouts.
It's like something's going on here. What is going to happen? Right. And then they just kneel it again. Right. It was like, what just happened?
And you guys didn't let me talk about it because you wanted to get to Colts permutations. You didn't let me talk about Dan Campbell's gum. You know that gum was found in a pocket the following morning, right? Dan Campbell wears the same jeans 4 days in a row, does he not?
He's never washed them.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Can you run through the Colts one more time?
Yes, please.
Hold on. I think I'm missing a page.
Texans winning in?
Right.
How do the Bills end up down here?
They don't.
There's no scenario in which they don't. They can't.
The Bills can end up down here round one.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Therapy can be helpful for personal growth, managing mental health challenges, improving relationships, or just coping with life's changes. Embarking on therapy in the new year can be a positive and transformative step for many individuals. Therapy helps you find your strengths so that you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Therapy helps you find your strengths so that you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Dan Le Batard.
Well, Charlie had this. Charlie, as far as I know, so just Charlie's title in my.
Are you going to say anything?
Stugotz.
How familiar were you at the time with Chewbacca? Like how your upbringing had how much Chewbacca in it?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Hello, Ron.
Hello, Mike.
How are you?
Well, Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year, Ron. Big week next Tuesday. Big day.
I know.
We had to make some tough decisions. I hope you're okay with it. Did you see who we're bringing back?
No.
We decided to bring back Manu, Keita, and Bueno. Of course, this means Manny and Carballo. We're not closing the door on them, but it may look like their time as Cyclones.
Manny, we're closing the door.
It's over.
Oh, man.
Carballo, he was tough, man. He was aggressive. I like Carballo.
He's a Cyclone lifer no matter what. But
I said to him in my heartfelt text to him after, he's my favorite player to watch in the entire league.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's just aggressive. He's got that kick-ass fast
And as I told him, that will not change.
Billy, can you tell me how you experience these guys talking about now the Cyclones? They are no longer the Cesta Cyclones.
Cyclones.
There are many things that infuriate our audience. I am responsible for most of them. But the Cyclones talk, Billy, how do you feel about it when Chris and Mike and now Magill, when it's an exciting sport, it's a fun sport, and they own this
World's
team.
fastest game day.
They own this team. I don't know, has Pitbull is now in the league? That is official?
Yeah, he's entering the league this year. Expansion team.
Wow.
Really?
The Fireballs.
So you guys got in. You guys got in, of course. The name is better than yours. The last time I saw you guys, Magill lost $50,000 for his substantive endowment.
I didn't lose $50,000, okay? I gained actually close to $4,000 because that's what they won for me, and that's something I would not have had at all without the Cyclones. So
Okay, but you lost $46,000, and Udonis Haslem was on the court shirtless, and Ray Lewis was yelling and screaming that they were champions, you were not. And now you've had your transactions. During the holidays, you guys made deals.
Yeah, this coming Tuesday is the draft on January 9th, and we had to freeze some players on our roster, especially with an expansion team coming in. You can keep fewer players, and it's always difficult when you're a runner-up in battle court. That's the toughest spot to draft, and we had to make some tough decisions over the holidays. I had to call some players personally and explain to them why they weren't being frozen, and man, my heart just sank.
Tough call.
Like, I know it kind of sounds like we're doing shtick, but it really was a difficult day.
I know. I'm not saying it's. Look,
these are people that we're friends with. You know.
Why does it sound like shtick?
Well, I'm just saying because, I know, we're I'm just.
It's a weird dynamic because this is like a real thing to the players, and it's a joke to you.
That's
guys.
not a joke. That's the part.
The league warned you that they were going to take away your team if you didn't keep going to the games. That's why I went out to a game.
Apologize to
Debatable.
us. Apologize to us.
I respect Mike for calling the guys he's going to drop so they don't read it on the internet first. That's a job by you.
Billy,
that's a good move by Mike.
Yeah.
Chris is here saying oh, I love this person. He's my favorite player. Really, it's like, well, you're in complete control. He could still be on the team.
Ron,
you chose to fire him.
Our priority is to win a title.
I'm not trying to act emotionally. Yes, Carballo's my favorite player to watch, but I'm looking at the draft available players.
We owe it to our fans to put out a championship-winning team. Yeah. And we've seen what our roster looks like with Carballo as our number one front quarter, and we're going to take our chances in the draft. Look, it's not the end of the road for Carballo. I'm sure his history with us has many more chapters.
Ron, you were trying to say something, and Billy, you're ever the anarchist, but this is upsetting to me. What's happened here? These guys genuinely care about this team and these players. They keep giving up Friday nights they do not have to go and try and resurrect the sport of highlight.
True. I've been to games that this team has played at that no one has been there for. And I said, where are you guys?
This season we went to everyone
because you got warned that you had to, or they're going to take away your team.
We were in last place. Last season it got a little. A couple seasons back it got a little.
You guys as owners,
Billy's been to more games.
You think Mark Cuban shows up if they're in last place?
Oh, how about that one? By the way, very quietly during the holidays, Mark Cuban out of the side of his mouth. Yeah, I don't have full control anymore.
That's the way you have to say it.
I don't have final veto power. That whole thing was, never mind.
No one in this league.
These guys, that's a serious game. This is not like, WWF or stupid slam night on Friday night.
Whoa.
Slam night.
What's wrong with slam night?
Whatever they call that Friday night thing, where people are throwing chairs at each other and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
I mean, those guys are athletes, but that stuff's not real. This highlight is real. I mean, you go and watch that stuff. You see how fast that ball. I tried to throw a thing with a cesta once. I almost got neutered.
I think it's pretty irrefutable.
No, it's hard. It's hard to throw.
I think it's pretty irrefutable that this ownership cares more than everybody else. Yeah. Okay, and if you want to hold one maybe struggling spring season against us, fine. You go ahead and do that. But the fact is, no one is more engaged.
The lifestyle Miami guy loves that team.
Yeah. He does. But I'm willing to sack our passion for this great sport of highlight up against anybody else's.
He can care all he wants. You keep drafting Spinner. He ain't going nowhere.
You guys got dragged by one player in the front court. What was his name? You got dragged. Is he the best player in the world now? Yes, he dragged all of you. Who got him? You don't have him now?
They got to keep him.
They keep him.
I don't understand how this works. You get to choose to keep your best player.
You should comment on it since you don't understand.
Bad ones.
Hasn't stopped you from opening your trap.
And not
You guys don't know how it works either.
Yes, we do. We couldn't know more. I could bore you with it. I could go into specific.
You
have
have
That's probably true.
But Chris, you drop your favorite player to watch
Because it's for the betterment of the team.
Why don't you trade this Manu guy that you guys love so much and you guys keep losing the championship?
pear-shaped Manu.
I love
Yeah,
Manu, man.
Manu's one of the best backboarders in the world.
Okay, but you get him and then you trade him for 2 assets.
You can't.
There's no trade.
Why can't you trade? You can't trade?
You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm not embarrassing myself.
You are.
This
You're
league's a
embarrassing
joke.
yourself.
I said it.
You're
Scott
embarrassing.
Savin is cackling listening to you right now.
Trade the players. Trade should be allowed.
Manu is a great player. He's a great player, but he's a great doubles player. I wouldn't in singles. I think Manu may have reached his peak.
Now Ron's showing his ass. Doubles is what wins you championships.
Wait a minute.
Exactly. That's
Wait
what
a
I'm saying.
There's no
Exactly.
singles matches in the finals, guys. None.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have derailed everything we're doing
Ron
today.
knows.
Ron, I need you to back off on Manu. I need your rabid rage to settle down because you lost $46,000 the last time that this was.
He lost out on.
4,000.
Lost out on.
Every one of those guys, after we came in second, they came up to me and said they were sorry. I said, you got nothing to be sorry about, man. You guys made it to the final.
I don't like what Billy's done. What Billy and Dan do every time we talk highlights, because because maybe I haven't even seen the feedback that says we don't like you guys talking about highlight. I've never seen that criticism.
Dan said that, not me.
Ever. I think that's the biggest straw man.
Mike,
but you guys don't have to trivialize.
This is what I would tell you.
It's a device that Dan uses to get you to stop talking.
You guys are trivializing something that is deeply important to us.
Okay,
I won $80 at highlight. So.
Oh, really?
What is deeply important to me is personally, with the hot breath of nachos that I could smell, people have told me to my face, can you get them to stop talking about the Cyclones?
Who? Name names. Greg died for that team.
Mike Schur is one of them.
Huh.
Oh, what does he know?
Exactly.
Please.
Oh, well, wait.
What has he done since Parks and Rec?
Mike makes some major donations to my endowment. I got to say that Mike is really generous.
Bought and paid for? Ron Magill, what is this?
I'm just saying he's really generous to the endowment every year.
He gives
Even
up.
though he cuts down Dan every time he makes the donation. He really says bad things about Dan.
Tax break.
You don't know what it's like.
No, but what he does when he makes the donations, he accuses both me and Ron of embezzlement and crime so that there's a paper trail.
You don't know what it's like to get a text from your co-owner partner at 2:30 a.m. of some grainy footage from the Basque country because 6 new players from France have entered the draft pool. You don't know what that's like. You weren't with me when I was in Athens at 4 a.m. FaceTiming with future Cyclones at the draft. You don't know what this is like.
I've watched so much YouTube of Lopez playing backcourt.
Oh, he's good. He's
Z,
good.
with a Z.
You guys are trying to keep the sport alive. It's not being played anywhere else in America right now.
It's thriving, and Battlecourt is unlike any other sport. That's why you have the likes of Pitbull coming. He's a Pitbull. This guy, his name just drips with success.
Also, Masvidal gone.
Where do you guys pick in the draft?
Unretired.
Is there a consensus number one? Where are you picking in the draft?
Second to last. Toughest spot. You know, the sport legislates parity.
But you also can, the teams can keep first round picks. So who are you even picking?
Manu's our
Manu's
first round
our
pick.
first round freeze.
So when is your first round pick?
The second round.
Second round when it snakes back.
First round pick is in the second round.
Are you guys going to let me today talk about anything that I want to talk about with any
I'm
of the
getting
people I
jackets
wanna talk
embroidered.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, I hope I get one of those.
What? You play your cards right. Quit back talking with Manu. We don't need that.
No. I need Manu, but I need him as a doubles player in the backcourt. Because the guys,
We're going to make an announcement right now.
Rest
He doesn't
versus
even know this. Manu, new team captain.
Wow.
Wow, the seed.
Nobody screams Manu more than me when I'm up in those stands. I'm up there, you hear me, Manu.
What is the animal in the animal kingdom that makes that sound or something most comparable to that sound?
Jesus, it's Christmas.
Maybe like a cow? Mau.
I don't know. No, I don't know what it would be.
Maybe a cow?
Come on, Dan.
Animal expert. I mean, she's...
Let's see who does the best cow.
That's a pretty good one.
Roy.
That was not
That was
me.
me.
Where went that?
That's a fun.
It was my game, so I was
That's
like,
not a fine.
We all sound the same, Dan.
Chris Cote is a fake Manu.
not doing that?
Yeah.
Really? That's only private fronts on racism.
Hello, boss.
Yeah, okay.
He does call us boss.
Wait a minute.
Boss, you have to keep carbonated.
No, look, You're the minority.
A good player.
In that area of the country, that is more the language than whatever you guys are speaking.
We have to have Manu for the backcourt.
I walked out of a gas station near there the other day and told my wife, there is no one who's ever spoken English who's been in that place. No one. No one ever. Back in the history of that place, that gas station has been there for 40 years. No one has ever spoken a word of English.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss, for the front court.
Ron, I didn't have any time to get to our videos. I didn't have any time to all right.
This was fun. This was good.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't good.
Yeah. It is. It's important. It really is.
How is it important?
Because those guys, they're playing with their hearts out for the endowment, you know, and it makes me feel really special when you got athletes of their caliber saying, you know what, we're going to do this for the endowment. You know, I really tip my hat to Chris and to Mike. I mean, they're incredible owners. Those guys, when you see them up there, they're into it. You know, I feel like you got somebody who cares. It's not like, you know, some of the owners that we've had on our professional teams here in South Florida.
Yeah. Whoa.
We've been criticized for caring too much.
Yeah. The Pride of a Lion is a best-selling book because of this audience. Before we get out of here,
no
Ron,
one's criticized them for that.
Our approach to these games are very controversial. I mean, we're doing Chanster and Sirs.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad form. Right, Ron?
Well, I don't know. I was there. When I saw the whole UM women's basketball team there, you know how that was fantastic to see Coach Meyer there. And, you know, they're going to bring the team out to the zoo. I'm going to take them around to the zoo, man. You made great connections, great people there. Listen, this is huge. And every time I'm there, I think we got more people than the other team we're playing.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This segment was ruined by you guys.
Cyclones. No longer
Cyclones.
Cyclones.
Not Cesta Cyclones anymore. They changed their name.
Cyclones. You've never seen it. Miss that house, and come straight for you.
Good player.
Manu.
That is bad, baby.
Manu.
Don Batard.
Let's go to 80.
His name is Bo.
Wow. I think Billy typed an 8 instead of a B. Fine.
It's a clear as day.
All right, $2.
Stugotz.
Number 80. Go ahead. It's Chris Cote on the line. CC, go ahead.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
For the front court.
It's a good play.
It's a good play with Lopez.
Thank you, boss.
To appreciate it, you have to talk to him. You know what he sounds like, but it's a good impression.
From both of you. You both do excellent Manus.
You've had limited interactions with Manus,
Yes.
but
I love that he is shaped like me.
he's not.
He's in better shape.
He's
Stop that.
much better shape than me.
He's an athlete.
That's not true.
Impeccable posture, too.
I don't believe Manu is in better shape than I am.
Just be careful. That's our captain.
Okay.
I saw a video of him sprinting in some stupid online thing that
I would race him, and
he would beat you.
I feel like I would win.
Damn, he would not.
Set it up, please.
I would. Okay.
Let's do an athletic.
That's your territory, and then you have to go in the on the court and play him in
the
highlight.
stuff. Look, man,
everyone knows your realm is sprinting.
You do look kind
now
of.
You got to play a road game.
That one sprinting.
I
will
tell you that if you want to have if you want to form a decathlon of your choosing between me, Stugotz, and Manu for whatever.
Why am I doing it against Manu?
I'm going to do both of them. I don't want to do two decathlons. If
Right.
we're going to do an athletic competition, I am here for the three of us going against your captain of your team and seeing who is a better player.
I have to go over his contract. If he gets hurt doing this, if he gets hurt embarrassing you and our season's lost, we only have ourselves to blame.
But Mike is right. If Dan gets you on the track, it's over. I mean,
that's why we got to do shuttle drills.
Momentum. I don't know. Also, I do think that some of the activities should be look up something on the internet. Like it should be me or Stugotz find Paramount Plus.
And you think you'll do that faster than Manu?
Deposit a check on your phone.
Yeah, something. Yes.
What?
Well, this is what Stugotz was saying. Let me get to this because I think Stugotz is right about this. I think in all the analysis that we do of all things football, why is no one analyzing anything that happened in the craziness of the last few days, including Milroe not using the right part of the RPO? Or was that a terrible call by Saban going straight into the teeth of what Michigan does best? Or did somebody screw something up? I believe Stugotz might be right when he says This time of year, holidays, we're all a little lackluster. You just sprinted through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's like it's crazy time, family drama, a lot of people around you don't want around, headaches, death, division.
You're getting older.
You're getting older. When he says, you know what happened to football the last 10 days? Just the holidays, where there's a referee out there who's got perspective about life. And he's like, who checked in? I don't know, 68, 70. Who gives a bleep? Like, I'm busy. Yeah, one of you checked in. I don't know. I threw the flag. I'm tired. My in-laws were in the house for 2 days. The kids don't listen to me anymore.
Too many voices.
Stadium's loud.
Just that the holidays happen to football.
I just don't hear things anymore. I don't know if it happens after you have a kid, but my wife swears to me. She says, I told you to throw that away. I'm like, I have no recollection.
Now,
I didn't hear it.
Imagine you're a referee. You're trying to spot the ball. You're trying to get home for the holidays. You got the in-laws in town. You've done 19 games in the last month alone. And then you got 9 offensive linemen and trying to check in at the same time.
And you got that law firm you run on the side because the referees in the billion-dollar sport have second jobs.
I know the answer from Stugotz, but are you having difficulty with your hearing? We've been doing this. This is our upcoming our 20th year, right? Mm-hmm. 20 years ago in the fall, you would have uttered Chidi Ahanatu in a microphone for the very first time. My ears have taken a beating doing that.
But headsets for 20 years must do that, correct?
Yeah, most people, I swear to God, I don't hear the first. Anytime I'm in a group, someone tries to talk to me, it's always come again.
Okay, but you're now saying that as you chase a child around and the holidays happen and you got an upside-down U thrown in your face by Rutgers this weekend.
That was a road game.
As you chase sports around.
We had a lot of healthy players.
Rutgers gave you the upside-down U. You're chasing your daughter through the holidays. You can't hear things. That's one daughter. Billy's got 2, and God bless football.
Yeah, I don't know how he doesn't.
Look at him. Not well. He's already been defeated by 2024.
Ready for a break.
It has informed, anything I do going forward. It's just, I'm taking all this as data. Like, Billy and how he navigates it is important data points for me.
Billy has been a slalom course of, I don't even know how he has done.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know how you survived the last 18 months of your life. But again, I want to just go back. Is it not possible that, I know a lot of people are watching Dallas, Detroit, and it is pretty stupid what I'm saying to you, that these things are decided by inches when I'm talking about 50 years of Lions history, and now we go to the replay. And instead of Stugotz celebrating, wow, LeBron James making a late 3 against that defense when Minnesota's good and young people want LeBron James's stuff. And he's saying Stevie Wonder could see on replay that was a 3 and it tied the game. Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Could Stevie Wonder indeed see that? Because some people, Vonnie Jones chief among them, say Stevie Wonder is not actually blind.
Can he see? Should be the poll question.
Was that video of the Grammys where Beyonce was walking in front of him? Yeah. Pretty damning evidence.
Yeah. Put it on the poll. Can Stevie Wonder see? And see if you can get for me. I think it's one of the greatest riffs I've heard. I don't know if we have it in our library, but Bomani claiming that Stevie Wonder is not blind. But
he caught a falling mic stand. The man can see. He said, "What up, big dog," to Shaq in an elevator once.
Bomani told the story of someone working at Best Buy, and they could swear that Stevie came in shopping for a television.
Instead of celebrating, I mean, we can, Stugotz, you'd agree, right? LeBron James, all of it pretty impressive for 20 years.
Yes,
Mike is complaining about his hearing. LeBron's still having a game against the Timberwolves where he's the best player for the Lakers, and he's playing for the tie, and the Timberwolves are excellent. They're excellent at defense.
Yep, game of inches, Dan.
That we decide these things by checking in with a referee, and Stugotz is right when he says that referee may have just been looking around and saying, who checked in there? Like, was it 68, 58? I don't remember. 70. What happened? I'm tired at the end of a long work day, week, long work year.
As you and I age, as we get older, we're in our 50s, we can relate to what that referee potentially was going through. Just too many voices in my head.
I know it's super important to everyone out here, but I've got like a teenage kid and I had a death in the family and life has happened. You remember when Brady said, hey, I'm 45, shit happens. I'm older than that. This is a second job for me. The people here are crazy, and I run a law firm. Like the people here are nuts how they care about, do you know how hard it is to spot the ball correctly?
Somebody checked in. I have no idea.
Have you seen the size of Lane Thomas? I couldn't see what was happening because look at the size of his ass.
Lane Johnson?
Yes.
Fine.
Sorry. That is a fine. What'd I call him? Lane Thompson?
Thomas? Yeah. Lane Thomas. Yeah. You know what the official...
Logan Thomas.
The official that totally skated because we missed an entire hot take sports cycle. The referee that tripped Lamar Jackson in the end zone, forcing a safety.
Best tackle of Lamar Jackson in the backfield this season. He's hard to tackle. I can't believe that guy's more of an athlete than everybody who's an athlete.
That game was something. That Monday Night Football game, because it also became the Rashad Mendenhall Bowl, where we essentially made it for, by the way, Michigan forced game 3 against Alabama. So you decide where game 3 of the race war takes place. But the Baltimore Ravens won race war, Rashad Mendenhall Derby, game 1. That game was so great because of what Lamar Jackson was doing and so confusing because of what happened to Brock Purdy there. Brock Purdy gets benched for Sam Darnold, and you see a seismic shift in MVP odds. That game was essentially for the MVP. That was NFL history on the line.
Can we please talk for a moment, Stugotz? Because I have gotten away from race talk because everybody's doing it. I haven't done very much of it. But can we talk about the reference that Mike is making here when, you just saw Colorado become a black team, a representative in college football, minor league professional football. You saw them become a symbol for black excellence. The Baltimore Ravens, when he mentions Mendenhall, and Mendenhall says, can we get all of these Orlovskis off television telling me, as the white person's perspective, how football works? Get me some black people out here like Tomlin's staff. This is happening in the sport. Sports become a mirror where we're headed in 2024. Like, the Ravens are a black team, and they're telling you after they injure Burrow, yeah, we do that. You're going to get hurt playing against us. And we're going to go to San Francisco. And they've been fighting everybody. They got Trent Williams. And we're going to drag them because we're more physical up front than anybody, than anybody in the sport. And we got a guy behind us here. It's pretty black in every way. Black excellence. MVP of the league. And before the season, we don't want him. Atlanta, Carolina. Look at Carolina's problems. That's a black team. And they're black excellence. And the Bosas of the world, who, by the way, when you read about the politics in some of the locker rooms, you wonder how any of these people can get along and survive in that workplace. It's a tribute to sports, actually, Stugotz, that you would have MAGA in your locker room or playing opposite you. And some of the stuff that we argued about when it was Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett 5 years ago, I don't know how that stuff coexists in a locker room. That stuff seems super awkward to me. As Mendenhall says, the black guys are the ones who should be explaining football to you on television, not the mediocre white guys who get the analyst jobs because we prefer that the broadcasting bridge be coated in quarterbacks who have usually always been white.
Is this your way of asking me, can we discuss this? Because I'd rather not. You never let me answer. You answer the question. I'd rather not discuss it. Thank you.
Stugotz was just telling me during the break that in Vegas he wants to cannonball into a pool when this happens at Viva Las Vegas. What are you shaking your head about,
Billy? It's 42 degrees.
The Super Bowl is going to be a mess.
Oh, my God. I'm so scared of all of it.
Why'd you sign off?
I don't know. You guys needed a morale lift.
2024 fun.
Yeah. Dan, I read a theory that I think Tony will like about that referee, the official that tripped Lamar Jackson, that he might be a time traveler. Yeah.
Go on.
That the reason is because the 49ers have this weird pattern where every game that they lost, they had scored 17 points. And every time that a quarterback or a team beat them and they scored 17 points, that quarterback got injured, the opposing quarterback. So the theory was that maybe this official was a time traveler who was coming back to cost the Ravens 2 points, give it to the 49ers to prevent them because they ended up with 19 points and save Lamar Jackson's health.
The Mendenhall conversation is a better one.
I said I'd rather not.
I know, so I'm going to throw it to the group because Mike Ryan just casually mentioned, hey, there's some race wars going on in football. We're going to talk about it?
I also mentioned that the series was tied 1-1 last night.
You're passing on time travel?
Do you have anything else to offer to the conversation? Because I would have liked your help on the previous one. I understand that you want to do Time Traveler, but we sat out Mendenhall.
If you want to watch our show devolve in person, you can come out to the Stadium Swim at the Circa Hotel, February 8th and 9th. The shows begin at 10 a.m. local time. Reserve your tickets now at www.circalasvegas.com/stadium. dash swim slash Dan dash Levitard dash
come on.
show.
That's a lot. That's too much. Say it again slowly.
CircaLasVegas.com slash stadium dash swim slash Dan slash. Wait, no, damn. All right. CircaLasVegas.com slash stadium dash swim slash Dan dash Levitard dash show.